DeGrazia-Gallery in the Sun is a 10-acre National Historic Landmark nestled in the foothills of the beautiful Santa Catalina Mountains in Tucson, Arizona. It was opened in 1965, and it's home to over 15,000 originals of Ted DeGrazia art pieces, including oil paintings, watercolors, ceramics, and sculptures. There's 6 permanent collections on display and several rotating exhibits each year, and that's what we're going to talk about, the newest one, which is DeGrazia's Desert Dwellings. And, you know, this means that we have the Tucson dude back on Big Blend Radio with Nancy and I here today. He's the executive director of DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun, Mr. Lance Laber. And to keep up with everything at the gallery, go to degrazia.org. It'll tell you all about admission, the hours, pretty much open all the time. And also you can go shopping online, just saying, because, you know, this is the season when we're getting close to the holidays. So because things are cooling down here in Tucson, right, Lance?
Yeah, right. That was sarcastic. It's hotter than hell, and you know it.
No, but it's been a really interesting monsoon season. It's actually been a little cooler, and we've had some good lightning. And what's it like at the gallery during the monsoon rains? I always think about you guys because of it being adobe. Do you have to have like protective?
No, but we have got some good rain in the last month or so. It's poured up there a couple of times. You know, the foothills get a lot of rain. So, yeah, no, it's been nice. It's going to be hot for the next few days, but, you know, maybe some more rain towards Monday or Tuesday. You always got to have hope.
Yep.
Keep hope alive.
Now, this is one thing I want to talk about,
yes.
You know, the gallery itself. It's an architectural wonder, I look at it, because it's so creative. And I know Ted DeGrazia's art spills out everywhere, whether it's, you know, his paintings or if it's decorations or that metal art that he did too. Because there's like flowers and glass and all kinds of things all over the gallery that he's used in the architecture, and cactus too. We've got to talk about the cactus on the floor.
Well, yeah, that's what you get in the desert. But yeah, no, everything. You know, the buildings he designed. Although he wasn't a college-trained architect, he was very amazing architect, and designed all the structures on the property. There's 18 different structures, and you know, of course, designed it and decorated it too.
And so, because when you go to the gallery, you can go the main gallery itself, which is pretty big, and then you can go into the different rooms. And then you've got that beautiful cactus courtyard in the middle. But you also have like a consignment gallery in there too. You've got like the shop, and then you have a consignment gallery too. So that's, I know a lot of people contact you all day long saying, "Hey, I've got an original Ted DeGrazia," and you go, "No, you don't."
Well,
you know,
sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And when they do, if they want to sell them, we take them in and try to sell them for them, which is a good thing. We have a really, it kind of shows a wide variety of what DeGrazia was able to do. So we have a room that has a very, very wide variety of things that people can buy of original art.
Yeah, it's fascinating to go in there and also go in his studio. I like the studio part too, because he's got those neat doors, and I remember, yeah, the beautiful view out into the cactus corral. So that's a neat studio, and you've got Chivas Regal in there. You know, I like that. Last time I came to see you, but you caught me.
That was his favorite.
I know. So I mean, that's the thing. He had all those boxes that you guys found. You know, all these empty Chivas Regal boxes. How many do you think were there?
Well, I don't know. You know, there's probably 20 or 30 of them, but all those boxes came from people that mostly a lot of important people around the state. You know, the former governor and the politicians and the people that used to know him used to give him shivas on his birthday. Or whenever they were around, and I think he loved them for that. And you know, that's he would drink it and then pile the boxes up and then stuff cash into the boxes. And when he passed away, we found quite a bit of money inside those boxes. So Yeah, that was his place where he stashed his $20 bills.
I bet you if you dug around, you'd find it in coffee cans too.
There were in the Chivas. The money was in the Chivas Regal boxes, and then there was money in shoe boxes underneath Mrs. DeGrazia's bed that she slept on for many years without knowing the money was there. And you're talking about $250,000, so it wasn't just a pittance. It was, yeah, it was a lot of money.
Oh wow! And so, do you think he did that because he didn't trust the banks? Because he was like that. I mean, there was that famous story, and I do want to mention everyone. Ted DeGrazia is famous for his Southwestern art, and also famous as being, the most reproduced artist in the world, and did so much work with Arizona Highways, and that was a strong partnership. But he went off and burned those paintings, right? And
that's one of the things he was pretty famous for. Yes, he burned $1.5 million worth of paintings. He didn't really, he didn't like the IRS. He didn't like. He was a rebel. He didn't like the establishment. And although he had bank accounts and he hired lawyers and he acted like a normal person a lot of the time, when people would pay him cash for things. He would take it and stuff it in those boxes, and there was a lot of money. By the time he passed away, there was a lot of cash in those boxes that had to go to the bank in an armored car.
Wow. Really crazy. Did you get to go to the bank in the armored car? I
didn't, but I happened to be there when that happened, and there was a lot of money. There was 70 ounces of gold. There was about 40 or 50 pounds of silver ingots for jewelry and things that there was a lot of precious metal and a lot of cash.
Wow. So all these important people giving him, Chivas Regal for his birthday and presents to a lot of Arizona leaders, right? So politicians coming through.
Yes.
That's interesting because I wonder about if he likes them or not, because look at his relationship with Diego Rivera. We just did a segment on Detroit, and the Detroit Institute of the Arts has this huge series of murals from Diego Rivera about labor and the transition of what the labor force was going through in Detroit. And I was thinking about Ted DeGrazia and what would he think. I wonder if he saw those murals, but also Diego was so political and he stood up for people. So I wonder about, what those conversations were like with politicians.
It's interesting. Diego Rivera obviously was he's a communist, and he hosted Trotsky, and Frida was also a communist. DeGrazia was not a communist. DeGrazia was a capitalist, 1,000,000%. And when he was young and was living in Morenci, Arizona, his father was a copper miner, and this family had nothing. They had no money. They were very poor. They had each other. And so I think when DeGrazia was young, he realized, I don't want to struggle. I don't want to be poor all my life. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to make a good living, and I'm going to be a success financially. And I don't think he believed in everybody making $100 a week, no matter whether you're a doctor or a farm worker. I don't think he believed that. I think he believed the harder you worked, I guess, I don't know really. Who knows what was on his mind, but I just know he was a big capitalist.
Yeah, he was smart. I mean, because you think about how he became the most reproduced artist. I know we've talked about this before, but a lot of artists, shy away from doing that kind of thing. Yet his name got out there. I think he not only did it for capitalism, well, of course it is, but it also was as part of his marketing to get his name out there. Especially like the relationship with Arizona Highways was spreading his art out there. The more marketing, obviously, the more money you're going to make too. But that to me was interesting about how he reproduced his art.
Right. You're always looking for your big break. You're looking for something that's going to put your name on the marquee, and obviously his Los Niños painting going with UNICEF, and that really, although he was already, getting a national name and certainly a regional name around Arizona, California, maybe New Mexico, when UNICEF did the greeting card with Los Niños, it made him international. It made him an international known commodity, and he they just sold millions and millions of cards worldwide. So that's how he got his name out there. And once that happened, it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but I think then the cash started rolling in.
That's interesting, man.
That's a good break. I remember my aunt.
Yeah, that was a big break. That was a very big break.
Now, didn't he have like a group of people that worked with him in reproducing his work, like even on textiles and things like that?
Yeah, well, he had a guild of artists. He had about a dozen artists that took his images, mostly his oil paintings, and made reproductions to sell. Inexpensive reproductions, so that the regular people could afford his art without having to spend thousands of dollars on original artwork. They could buy reproductions, and even if you only had $2, you could buy a magnet of Los Niños and put it on your refrigerator. He was very very heavily criticized for that. He was treated like a sellout, like he was a commercial sellout, where now, artists do that all the time. And, they're not criticized for it. But back then he was treated pretty badly, but I don't think he cared.
I think,
it only mattered what the rank and file, it only mattered what the regular people cared about. He didn't care about the elites at all.
See, that's that interesting part about him. He's a Renaissance man too, in what he does in creativity, and going, okay, I'm going to be capitalistic, yet I'm going to think about the common man and not, the big rich people. And I remember you telling the story of Paul McCartney coming after 4 o'clock, and he's like, gallery's closed.
Right.
Dude,
funny. So funny.
He's like, whatever, So the other part is he also wrote, and I've been digging into his books, and it's really, his writing is fascinating. I think he could have written like cartoon books and children's fiction. There's he's into like a little fantasy world in a way. Like he takes all his characters and Padre Quino's story, and it's just interesting because he kind of sets himself in these stories. And I know when we talked about Father Quino, which is one of the permanent exhibits, you were talking about DeGrazia was putting his face in there.
Right.
Well, I was looking at De Vaca's when we talked about that, and we were putting the images in the magazine and everything, and I went, oh my gosh, he put himself there too.
Yeah.
And that's what he did in his writing.
He got that from Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, now I'm coming back to the gallery to count how many paintings he's in.
Well, it's funny that he did that, and I'm not sure his motivation, other than he had a sense of humor, and they didn't have photographs of Father Quino in the 1500s, so DeGrazia had one of those faces. He had a beard. He looked kind of grizzled, and he looked like every man, I guess. So
in the movie,
right,
he would have been a good movie star, I think.
Well, he made his own movies. He made a bunch of movies, so he was kind of a movie star, and he was always in the middle of it. So
yeah, and everyone, you can watch movies too when you go to the gallery. That's cool to go in there. And that's the thing too. I know we're going to talk about Desert Dwellings. It is a new exhibit opening September 7th. That's a good day. I don't know why I think about September 7th, but it's a good day, Lance. Just
September 7th is one of the best days, I guess.
It is. It's a Friday too. Everybody loves a Good Friday, and
absolutely.
There's an open reception for everyone coming in. And do you have wine at the reception?
We do. We do. So if you guys show up, it'll be there for you.
Uh-oh. We'll be there with bells on. That's it.
Yeah, you'll have your own bottle.
You got us all happy here, Lance.
I heard you both at that.
I know. We're both like, yippee. desert dwellings. This is interesting because obviously he's, one of the dwellings you can go to his house where him and Marion live. So that was the other part of there's the gallery, there's the mission, also the little gallery, and was the little gallery, was that always a little gallery?
That was his original gallery when he started building on that property in 1949. He built his little church, the little mission, and then he built his home in the little gallery, and that was a place that he could sell his artwork out of, and then kind of move to the other side of the property and start planning his main gallery that he had always that was always the plan, was to make a big gallery. So the little gallery was a kind of a base of operations where he could sell his stuff and but continue to build on the property and expand the gallery.
And everyone, that's the one thing. So you've got the new exhibit in September. Also, DeGrazia's chickens is on display as well. That's a fun one to go and look at. Very colorful and but definitely part of Southwest culture and Mexican culture especially. And what's interesting too is like in November, I think it is, beginning of November, the little gallery really like every week to 10 days you have new artists in there.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, yeah, you'll get to see a visiting artist and go see different art. So that's a cool thing you do. Are most of the artists? I know we're gonna chat with some when everyone starts coming in this fall. But are most of the artists, are they from southern Arizona, Tucson region?
That's some. We've got an artist coming from North Carolina, a man named Scott Owen, who does dinosaur bone jewelry. He'll be coming from North Carolina in February, I believe.
Dinosaur bone jewelry?
Yeah, it's beautiful jewelry. Dinosaur bone comes in every color of the rainbow, and it's gorgeous stuff. But he's we don't just have local artists. People know about the gallery and they contact us, and wherever they're coming from, if they can make it, we certainly welcome them.
Oh, cool. So now also with this new opening of the desert dwelling, now I'm going to start Googling dinosaur bones. I'm like, I want. Nancy loves dinosaurs.
So it's real dinosaur bones.
Yes, yeah, it's real dinosaur bone.
How did you find it?
Well, there's places where you can find it, like in Wyoming, the Badlands in Wyoming. He was getting it in Colorado. It is fossils, but it's red, it's green, it's every possible color you've ever seen. It's pretty amazing.
Cool. Look at this. I'm looking at a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a T-Rex tooth. Oh my gosh, it's like marble. Oh, it's really cool stuff.
Oh, so you found it?
I just found I just went and started Googling just to see it.
Or Google dinosaur bone jewelry.
Yeah, this is. Oh my gosh,
that's interesting.
Okay, that's.
Anyway, so he's coming, and there'll be 13 artists throughout the season that'll come, and they'll spend 2 weeks each. And it'll be nice for people to come out and see their art and support them.
Yeah, right on. Ooh, this is so pretty. Okay, so everybody, degrazia.org. If you connect with them online, they put the schedule up there, and also the best thing is to also connect with them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. They're always posting what's going on, and they post a new picture every day, which is cool. So you get to see new art every day. Is that a kitten? Do you have a kitten?
Oh, yeah. No, it's not a kitten. It's just a cat. It's our cat, Sugar, and she's crying about something.
Oh,
we're remodeling the house right now.
Oh, she wants the dinosaur bone.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to see on a dinosaur bone. So desert dwellings, this is an interesting thing, and I think, obviously since he built his own gallery with the help of the local people, he painted. These are a lot of paintings, and it seems to be a lot of landscapes as well. So
there's a whole bunch of different paintings here. There's some silk screens. And what they are little dioramas with little buildings in them. I mean, they're kind of neat, the little saguaros, and sometimes there's people in them, sometimes there's not. But it's one of the more obscure subjects that DeGrazia did, that he did quite a bit of, and they're really interesting. So there's watercolors, there's oils, and there's silk screens.
Okay, nice. And some of I like it because he really gets into showing off the desert. You know, the different colors of the sky, whether it's moonlight, if it's saguaros and the ranches and the adobes. It just kind of gives you that sense of place of where you are.
Right.
And I like that he includes a lot of saguaros because they're homes for like owls and bobcats and things.
You're the nature lover, of course.
I know, I am. And that's one of the things I like about coming to the gallery. It's like, you've got all the native, plants and everything, and quail. We always see quail out there. And
you can't work at DeGrazia unless you're a tree hugger.
See, or a cactus. I was going to say.
Or a cactus hugger. You gotta hug the cactus.
Hug the cactus, man. And also DeGrazia chickens, that's there, and I like that because he liked chickens, didn't he? That was part of his.
He did, and there's also the encaustic, the beeswax paintings are still on display.
Okay, so everyone, there's a lot going over the gallery. Before you go, Lance, I wanted to touch on the restoration of the Mission. Is that starting up this year?
You know what? That is actually we're going to be getting started on that. It's been a full year we've been waiting, but we're going to be getting started on that in probably the next 2 weeks. So we're getting our permits together. We're getting all of the materials together. The engineers and the architects are working hard, trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And so it is going to happen. That should make the fans of DeGrazia's Mission very happy.
Awesome. Everyone, again, go to degrazia.org to keep up with them. And we're going to play some music here. We've got Sunset Steps, which is on the album Please Remember Me, that features music that was actually written by Ted DeGrazia that found these manuscripts. Were the music manuscripts in Chivas Regal box?
No.
He found them?
No. No, that was just money. No manuscripts.
Okay. No. So Domingo DeGrazia, his son, is also featured on the album, and Sunset Steps, I believe, is Domingo's song, right?
I think so.
Yeah. There's beautiful guitar work from Domingo. And who else is on the album? It's the Jazz Orchestra.
It's the Tucson Jazz Academy.
The Jazz Academy. It's a great album. I know a lot of our listeners enjoy listening to the music we played all the time on Big Blend Radio here. And of course, want to thank all of our listeners for joining us here on Big Blend Radio today. Our shows air Sunday through Friday. You can listen as they go live, or you can listen anytime on demand. Just go to bigblendradio.com for our schedule and choose the outlet you want to listen through, be it Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spreakers, SoundCloud, YouTube. There's a list, and I can't read. But everyone, thanks so much for joining us, Lance. Always so much fun chatting with you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Take care. Here it is, everybody. Sunset Steps. Enjoy.